And one other thing I want to talk about before we get into the lecture today, and my mom noticed it too. I know she's my number one fan. She's watching right now. And we kind of remarked on it at the time, but when I thought about it later, I thought about the power it could have. So yesterday, she just got her new car. It took that unfolding was way too long, but finally got the new car, and we went to the restaurant we had gone to. It was about a year before, huh? Where the night that her last car broke down, we went to that restaurant before we were gonna go grocerying, and after the restaurant, the car was kind of struggling. I was like, let's just go straight home, and of course the car died in the parking lot as we pulled up. But my point is, when we were in that restaurant yesterday, it didn't feel like a whole year had passed, and it didn't really feel like things weren't too profoundly different. And what I noticed, my realization over the course of reflecting on that was like, time really is just something we're animating. Time really is just a factor we're creating in mind only. Because we were in the restaurant, I was thinking about all the other times we had been in that specific restaurant. It's like, yeah, things in my general life circumstances were different in different ways, but still the state of being in that restaurant with my mom was essentially the same. And so I realized that it would be a really great base to imagine for other things I want to manifest. Because in that moment, the other things in my life, they're only being held in place in my mind anyway. So whether or not I have a certain amount of money, a certain degree of accomplishment in my career, I'm in a certain relationship, or I have a certain relationship with another friend, or whatever those other circumstances are, when I'm in the restaurant with my mom, they're only existent in my mind anyway. There's in most cases no extreme evidence that I have or do not have a certain thing. So it's a very neutral base for me to use as a imaginal scene. And if you look at your life at like these very pleasant or neutral things you've put on a loop, identify one of them that's a really good base for a lot of your scenes. Like if you have like if you and your friend go to a certain restaurant every couple of months all the time, and that's like every time you guys do like a little life catch up when you go to that restaurant, that would be a great scene. If there's like a certain walk you do, especially with another person, every couple of days or something, or even every day, and on your walk you guys talk about what's going on in your life, another great sort of setting. I'm just trying to give examples of something that's similar to this, where it's something you do fairly regularly, preferably with someone that you talk to about your life, that you would trust disclosing more intimate details about your life to, and the experience itself is pleasant or neutral, so it's not something really amplified in any negative or positive emotional aspect. It's just like, yeah, we're just having lunch. The lunch is always good. It's a nice little experience, and it's a great setting for me to imagine for anything I want in my life, because I would just simply imagine, my mom asks a question about it, or I tell her about it, and we talk about it for whatever I want, or for anything she wants. We would just be at that restaurant, and she would tell me about it, or I would tell her about it, and boom, that's a scene. So I'm just trying to let you know, use something like that for your scenes, because you can always make that now. Like, because I had memories of when times we'd been in that restaurant before, and I was like, no matter what year it was, what the other conditions of my life were, those memories always feel like, oh yeah, I'm in the restaurant now. We're we're eating basically the same things we eat here every time now. So I could just tell I could always make, now I'm in that restaurant with her in my mind anytime. Like I can at any moment say, we're in that restaurant now, and this thing is true now. So identify something similar in your life and use it as a basis for scenes if you like doing scenes. Okay, so tonight we're doing All Things Are